Alexa, ask Santa for a story.
Okay, here's Santa Claus.
The missing magical key. A question I'm often asked by boys and girls is how exactly I get into homes which don't have a chimney. And some of the cheekiest children have asked if all the mince pies I eat make it difficult for me to get down the chimneys at all. So I add them to the naughty list for being rude. Now, as all grown-ups know, I have a magical key which allows me into any home around the world. However, one Christmas Eve, when the reindeer had been fed and the presents were loaded and my sleigh was extra shiny with polish, I realized I didn't have my keys. Well, I hunted high and low for those keys. I looked all over the sleigh, and I searched through all the straw and empty food bags in the reindeer shed, but they'd vanished. I shouted for my chief elf and told him the problem I'd got myself into, and he set all the elves to work, looking in every nook and cranny for my missing magical key. The elves turned the workshop upside down as they searched, with tinsel, wooden toys and tools flying everywhere. But still no keys were to be found, and I was getting late for delivering all my presents. We made so much noise in this chaos and panic that Dancer the reindeer came in to see what all the fuss was about. I spluttered out I couldn't find my keys and the Christmas was ruined. But all he did was smile. "Oh, Santa," he laughed, "you do this every year, and where do you always find your keys?" I stared back at him, not understanding. They're in your top pocket. They're always in your top pocket, for safekeeping, apparently. I put my hand to my top pocket, and of course, there they were. Christmas was saved. So I thanked Dancer and bundled him off to the sleigh so I could begin my around-the-world trip and make sure all of the presents were delivered on time. Ho, 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 ho.
Do you want to find out your elf name?
No.
Okie dokie. Do you want to do a super silly workout?
Exit.
John Edwards, here is your reminder. Lisa Pizza. John Edwards, here is your reminder. Lisa Pizza.
Alexa, ask Santa for another story.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Ask Santa for a story.
Okay, here's Santa Claus.
Oh dear, that just won't do. Let me just try and get this sounding right. You know, this weird sounding note reminds me of the time of a problem I was having this time last year. I had received a letter from little Veronica Kenworthy. Veronica had been very good all year, and what she really wanted was a trombone. Now, I'm a big music fan, as you know. Oh, deck the halls with boughs of holly, tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. I do love that one. I think it's important to nurture musicians, so I asked the elves to see if they could make a trombone. They told me that of course they could, and they'd get started right away. I waved them goodbye and then went back to finish the mince pie that Mrs. Claus had made me. Oh, but when I reached for it, it had vanished. All that was left on the plate was a scattering of crumbs. The mince pie had gone, and I certainly hadn't eaten it. But I was very busy. It was almost Christmas after all, and I thought no more about it. A few days later, I was wandering around the workshop. Just as I was about to leave, a little elf ran up to me, holding the trombone I had asked him to make. He told me that for some unknown reason, it wouldn't play properly, and asked me to have a look. I told the elf I'd do more than take a look. I'd give it a blow, and I did. It sounded like something was blocking the trombone. Maybe if I blew hard enough, I could blow it out. Shivering snowballs, you'll never guess what was blocking the trombone. It was a mince pie, and not just one mince pie, a load of them. Now, who could have been stuffing a trombone full of mince pies? I had an idea, and I blew on the trombone one more time. I knew it! A mouse. This was the culprit who was taking the mince pies and hiding them in the trombone. The little mouse squeaked angrily and scampered away. The trombone was fixed. It played perfectly. Veronica would love it. Now, if I could just get this music working properly. Ho, 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 ho! Perfect! Merry Christmas!
Would you like today's news from the North Pole?
Exit.